Security at the Olympics has never been tighter, and back in 1988 in Calgary, 45 military from the Canadian Navy were involved, but now in 2010, 4,500 Canadian military are now involved in the Integrated Security Unit, and we've been following their story. Security at the 2010 Olympics comes in many forms, and some are more visible than others. At sea, the first line of defence on the water falls to the Canadian Navy. Using warships, they patrol the coastline off the Bay of Vancouver, keeping a watchful eye on all the shipping. And currently that task is being undertaken by Her Majesty's Canadian ship, Calgary.
Calgary is actually patrolling outside, maintaining a maritime picture, and we're passing the information in so that we make sure that we know who's coming in and out of Vancouver, and make sure that everything's safe.
On board Calgary, a crew of almost 200 men and women keep watch and maintain this Navy vessel in case it is required to intercept any suspicious seagoing ships, whatever their size. Calgary is one of several Navy frigates that forms part of a much wider security network for the Games called the Integrated Security Unit, headed by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And in between their duties on board ship, the crew managed to watch some of the Olympic action back in Vancouver. They also have their own Olympic stories, some of Calgary back in 1988.
I was in grade 3 at the time, so each of us had to do reports on a sport. I chose to do the bobsled. I thought it was the coolest sport ever. Big sled basically going on a really fast track. So that's about the extent of my memories. I remember watching it on TV, and the city was obviously very busy. There was a good atmosphere. Everyone was supporting the athletes. So it was excellent.
The mayor of Calgary that came to the ship, and we had the change of command from captain to captain, and he presented the ship with the flag. It's from the 1998, the Olympic in Calgary, and there's only 5 of them. And the mayor of Calgary was, he came to the ship to give one of the flag, and we're the only ship in the fleet to be allowed to fly it.
Away from the high seas, and the Navy's role continues, assisting the police, Coast Guards and other agencies in patrolling the busy waters of Vancouver Harbour, maintaining a vital security presence in these days of increased terrorism.
We built a layer approach where we have big ships outside of the harbour. We got smaller ships here just outside at the approaches by the bridge that are more maneuverable. And finally we have some of the ribs, which are small boats, fast, capable of intercepting any vessels within the harbour.
The Games may be drawing to an end, but the work of the Navy and the other security agencies remains as important now as it did at the beginning. Their role to protect the athletes of the Games and the thousands of visitors from around the world who chose to visit Vancouver and the 2010 Olympic Winter Games. For the Olympic News Channel, I'm Brian Smith at the 2010 Olympic Winter Games in Vancouver.